In early December 2015, we took a trip to New Zealand. This was a great time to visit. The weather is great, and it's not quite the busy season. We rented a campervan and drove all around both the North and South Islands for 2 weeks. In total, we spent 11 days in the camper. Just enough to drive the whole country, but not quite enough to see very much in detail. Well, with 2 kids, we weren't really up for much hiking. Maybe a bit, plus some other fun stuff. But in the end, this was mainly one big giant road trip. We landed in Christchurch. This city, town really, devastated by recent earthquakes, is still being rebuilt. Though much of the city looks like a cross between a ghost town and a war zone with abandoned and destroyed buildings, the spirit is very positive and life goes on. The first thing we did is took the cable car up the mountain between Christchurch and Lyttelton. It's an 862-meter ascent and the view is great. The next morning, we picked up our campervan and stocked up on some groceries. We needed enough to last us 11 days.
Here's our new campervan. I will show you what it's all about. Normal seats and steering wheel and things like that.
Okay.
And then here are the tools for us. And back there is the dining room and the bed. And here is the toilet. And here is the kitchen. And up there is the bunk bed.
Wow.
For us to sleep. Yeah. For us to sleep. And we got the cushion for us. And we got the cushion for you too.
That's great. The first day with the campervan, we drove west over Arthur's Pass. There are an amazing number of streams and rivers coming down from these mountains. And to get across them, a lot of times you have to take these one-lane bridges. At first they look dangerous, but they're really pretty fun. Check this one out. It was amazing to traverse from one coast to the other in just a matter of hours. At the summit, it was windy and rainy, with steep cliffs all around. I loved it. We went down the west side to Hobbiton, where we stayed the night. This is a small coastal town, quiet and quaint.
Okay, people. We're at Hobbiton. We just came back from Christchurch.
And in the meantime, what are you doing, Mama?
I'm cooking dinner, lunch for the family.
Dinner or lunch?
Dinner, lunch together.
At 7:30. Pasta, right?
Yeah.
So it's our first morning here in New Zealand. In the camper.
We found the car.
And look who shows up. The next day, we headed over towards both Franz, Josef, and Fox glaciers. We're driving past this big, huge lake somewhere on the west coast of New Zealand. I don't even know the name of the lake, but it's huge. I found the name of the lake. It's Lake Ian the. We hiked up towards Franz Josef, but the trail was washed out, and we could only do about 1 kilometer. Still, we got a good view of the massive glacier, just not very close. From there, we headed south to the next glacier, Fox, where we found a campsite for the night. In the morning, we took a helicopter ride right above Fox Glacier. We were really lucky to be able to go that morning, because the day before they wouldn't go because it was too cloudy. It snowed that morning, so we really had a great view. After that, we drove south towards Wanaka, stopping at a place called the Blue Pools. If you're driving from the west coast towards Queenstown, you'll pass by the blue pools. It's totally worth a stop. After a walk on the trail, probably a kilometer or less, you'll arrive at a brilliant green river leading to crystal clear, you guessed it, blue pools. The drive from here down the east side of the mountains towards Wanaka is pretty spectacular, and ends with a 22-kilometer section following the side of Lake Hawea before arriving at Wanaka. The next day we passed through Queenstown, spending a few hours exploring the city and eating some great pizza. It reminded me a lot of Jackson Hole, Wyoming, but a bit smaller. You know, one of those action sport towns with the skiing, mountain biking, and all that fun stuff. We drove on to Anau, where we would stay that night. This town is the last place to stay before arriving in Milford Sound, where we would go the next day. The drive to Milford Sound was nothing short of spectacular, passing through towering mountain cliffs, snow and glacier-capped peaks, and immaculate streams. We were even lucky enough to see a kea, actually a few of them. These are large mountain parrots that only live in the South Islands of New Zealand. They're said to be very intelligent and curious birds, and they are threatened, having previously been hunted, but now they're protected. Check out this one as he climbs on top of our camper van. I was wondering, how could Milford Sound beat this? This place was awesome. Soon we'd find out. They say it rains more than 200 days per year here, and we were pretty lucky. The skies were clear, and besides a strong wind, we had nothing to complain about. From there we drove back and over to a place called Kingston, where we stayed the night. The next day we headed to Lake Tekapo. What you see here is the Church of the Good Shepherd, probably the most popular spot on the lake. It was built in 1935 and really is picturesque. Lake Tekapo is big, 27 kilometers long and 6 kilometers wide, and is fed by glaciers. The lake gets its brilliant color from rock flour from those glaciers. That also means it's cold, and needless to say, I didn't see any swimmers, which gave me an idea.
Hi everybody, I'm wearing my glow-in-the-dark shirt. I'm going to swim. Actually, I don't have my swimming suit on, so my papa's going to swim. Come on, let's go.
It's pretty cold at this lake here, and I'm going to try to swim.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll be successful or not, but I'm going to go in, see what it's like. You think you can do it, Elko?
Yeah, because I did it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Here I go. This is all glacial melt, I think. Or at least that's my excuse for not wanting to swim.
I just let it.
I do not recommend that. Don't do it.
Hey people, I found something very special on the ground. It's very interesting. It's a secret. Boom, boom, boom! That is a dead rabbit.
It was a long but relatively easy drive from Lake Tekapo down the plains to Christchurch and north to the small seaside town of Kaikoura. First of all, Elka, what's today?
Today's my birthday.
How old are you now?
I'm 6. Yesterday I was 5.
And where are we now?
In the Campervan.
In what country?
New Zealand.
And what are you about to open?
A present. And here's what I got. Slime. And this slime is here. It's slimy. It's sticky. It's Scrabble. Thank you. I'm hoping thank you. Bye. I'm playing Travel Scrabble.
And Ancia's got the score board of Travel Scrabble.
You should come to New Zealand and get this drink. You only can find it in New Zealand, nowhere else.
Bye. North of Kaikoura, there's a place called Nin's Bin, which serves seafood. Check out what we ate. These crayfish were awesome. They're expensive, but they're totally worth it. That evening, we took the ferry from Picton to Wellington. It's a 92-kilometer journey and takes about 3 hours. But check out this house. The only way you can get to it is by boat. Pretty amazing. Unfortunately, it was dark for most of our trip, so we couldn't get very many good pictures. The next day, we met a friend of mine in a town called Bulls, and we had a nice lunch. From there, we drove up to Lake Taupo, which covers as much area as the entire island of Singapore. This was one of the nicer campsites, so we'll show you around a bit.
There are lots of things to do in the campervan.
Yeah, lots of things you have to do to get it ready for when you leave or when you stop at a new place. Look at all the keys you're going to have to use. First thing we want to do is make sure that our drainage is good. So, this hose under here is the waste hose for the gray water. That's for your shower, sink, stuff like that. So we just have it permanently hooked up right here to this drain. That's easy. Next thing is the power. Electricity goes here, into there.
The one that says power, but you forgot to put it there.
Oh, sorry.
Now that's better.
Another thing we have is to fill up the water. Let me show you how that works. Etio, can you get the hose out? Okay. Now, can you hook the hose up?
Where?
Right here.
No. I
Okay, now we've got the hose. Now we need to find the key that opens the right compartment to put the water in. Let's go. Which key do we use? Let's try this key. If we're really lucky, it'll work. Amazing!
It worked. We were really lucky that we got the right key.
Okay, open this up. Congratulations, it works. Okay. Move, Elka, you're gonna get wet. Then we fill it up right here. In most of the campgrounds, they have some facilities like bathrooms. What else? Showers. Huh? What else?
Kitchen.
Oh yeah, kitchens, laundry. I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but in New Zealand, they'll have these things. This one even has what? Tennis courts, basketball court.
Badminton court.
Yep. Swimming pool.
Half basketball court.
After Lake Taupo, we headed north to Rotorua. Here we visited the hot springs. It was a lot like Yellowstone, but smaller. There were geysers, bubbling pits of mud, and the ever-present smell of boiled eggs. I couldn't believe how similar the landscape here is to the western US. Just outside Rotorua, we had a really good time walking around a private hot springs. We followed a trail that passed steamy springs and muddy pits. There were tame peacocks, llamas, and other animals that roamed the area. Not sure who had more fun with these animals, the kids or I. Before turning our campervan in Auckland the next day, we took a quick detour to the movie set of The Hobbit. An entire village is built here, with hobbit houses on the sides of the hills, each one detailed enough to make you think a hobbit really could live in them. Just check out these scenes. Peter Jackson found the location in 1998 through an aerial search. He said the area was like a slice of ancient England. The set has 44 hobbit holes across 14 acres. It's pretty big, with a lake, a magnificent rock bridge, and a brewery. Finally, we made it to Auckland, a beautiful city, somewhere I could totally live. Seeing New Zealand by campervan was incredible. I highly recommend it. It might not have been the cheapest or the easiest, but it's certainly the best way I can think of to immerse yourself in the culture and really get an appreciation for the diversity of the country. We will definitely be back.